Title lawyer tells seniors. Debit card users, beware, new ghost tap trick is spreading fast. Have you ever felt safe knowing your debit card is tucked away in your wallet or purse? What if I told you that in less than 3 seconds, without anyone touching you, a stranger could drain your account? This silent scam is spreading faster than I have seen in years, and older adults are the #1 target. Today, I will show you exactly what this new ghost tap trick is, how it works, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself before it strikes. You may think your card is safe just because it never leaves your bag, but that's exactly what criminals are counting on. They know our habits, they know our routines, and they use simple technology to steal without you even noticing. Before we get started, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching this video from, and what time of day is it right now? Please leave a comment below. I truly look forward to reading your stories. And if you enjoy this video, hit the subscribe button. If not, well, at least give it a like so more seniors can get this important warning. Stay with me because what you learn in the next few minutes could save you from days or even months of stress. Part 1, what the ghost tap scam really is and how it differs from traditional fraud. When most of us think about debit card fraud, we picture an ATM with a hidden skimmer or a thief grabbing our wallet in a crowded store. We assume that fraud requires some kind of physical theft, a moment where someone takes what belongs to us. But the ghost tap scam changes that picture completely because it uses the very same technology that millions of Americans trust every single day. If you have ever tapped your card to pay at Starbucks for your morning coffee or at Walmart when buying groceries, then you have used NFC technology. NFC stands for Near Field Communication, which simply means your card can speak to the payment machine when it is close enough. It feels safe because the cashier is right there. The machine looks familiar, and you hear the beep that says the transaction went through. Convenience has become part of our daily rhythm, especially when standing in long lines where speed matters. The danger with ghost tap is that criminals have realized they can use the same system outside of the checkout counter. They do not need to steal your card, clone the number, or trick you into typing details online. Instead, they walk through public places with a small portable payment device hidden in a jacket pocket or bag. This device is no different from what a delivery driver or a coffee shop clerk uses every day. And when they get close enough to your purse or your coat pocket, the card responds just like it would at the register. Imagine standing in line at CVS to pick up a prescription, focused on the pharmacist calling your name. A man behind you shuffles forward, appearing impatient. You think nothing of it, yet hidden in his pocket is a tiny reader that quietly connects with your debit card through the thin fabric of your handbag. Without a single beep, without a single vibration, a $40 payment is instantly approved. You are none the wiser, and the thief walks away with your money. This scam works because banks often set fraud detection thresholds around $100. Transactions under that amount rarely trigger alerts because they look like normal purchases. So the criminals keep their hits small, sometimes $30 here, $60 there, spread out across different days. For the victim, those charges blend into the background until one afternoon, while checking an account statement, the reality appears: several withdrawals. None of them familiar, all of them draining hard-earned savings. For older adults, the shock is more than financial. It is emotional because trust has been broken in a system that was meant to make life easier. Many seniors already carry the quiet stress of managing health medications and living on fixed incomes. To discover that even a simple debit card carries hidden risk can feel overwhelming. Yet acknowledging that risk is the first step to taking back control. As one old Indian saying reminds us, the trap is not always in a faraway place, but sometimes in the very pocket we carry close to our heart. The ghost tap may sound like an invisible threat, but once you understand how it works, you are no longer helpless. Knowledge is power, and in this case, it is also protection. That is why recognizing the scam is not about living in fear, but about living with wisdom. By learning the tricks of these criminals, you can build simple habits that keep your money safe, your mind calm, and your independence strong. And in the next part, we will talk about why seniors have become the favorite targets for ghost tap thieves and what makes this generation uniquely vulnerable so that together we can close the door on this silent fraud. Part 2, why older adults have become the main targets. When we ask why criminals focus on older adults, the answer is not about weakness or carelessness, but rather about habits and circumstances. Many seniors carry their wallets or purses in ways that feel natural and convenient, yet also make them easier to reach. A handbag looped over the arm while shopping at Walmart, a wallet placed on the seat beside you at the doctor's office, or a purse resting in a shopping cart while reaching for a box of cereal. All of these everyday moments create opportunities. To the criminal, these are not accidents but invitations, silent openings where their hidden devices can slip close enough to trigger a ghost tap without anyone noticing. The challenge is not just physical accessibility, but also technological familiarity. Most older adults know what tap to pay is because they see it at grocery stores and pharmacies, but few realize that the feature remains active all the time. It does not matter if the card is in your pocket, zipped inside your purse, or even wrapped in a tissue. If the card has the chip, it is always ready to connect. Many people believe that unless they physically hand their card to the cashier, no payment can be made. That assumption is exactly what scammers rely on because the card never asks for permission. It simply responds when the reader gets close enough. Another factor is the rhythm of how seniors check their finances. Younger generations often check banking apps several times a week, sometimes even daily, but many older adults prefer the traditional monthly statement. They sit down at the kitchen table with a paper envelope and read through the list of charges once every few weeks. By the time they notice suspicious amounts, days or even weeks may have passed. In that window of silence, scammers can hit the same person multiple times, staying under the radar, with small charges that blend in with ordinary spending. Criminals know this, which is why they choose environments where older adults feel safe and distracted. They wander through pharmacies, community centers, libraries, or Sunday services, blending in with the crowd. They might wear a lanyard to look like staff or carry a bag that resembles medical equipment. While you are greeting a friend at church or waiting in line at the library checkout, someone standing just a few inches away may be quietly taking money from your account. These thieves are not looking for drama. They are looking for easy patterns, and unfortunately, our daily routines can provide them. There is also the belief, sometimes spoken out loud, sometimes just held quietly in the back of the mind. I am retired. I live simply. Who would want to steal from me? That belief can be comforting, but it is also misleading. Criminals do not choose based on wealth, but based on opportunity. A card with $300 is just as attractive to them as a card with $3,000 because the theft feels safe and unnoticed. For the victim, that $300 may be grocery money for the month or a prescription refill, but to the thief, it is an easy score with little risk. Consider the story of Maria, a 72-year-old widow living in Florida. She went about her month as usual, visiting the pharmacy, attending a church potluck, and spending afternoons at her local library. She had no idea that each week a stranger was skimming $60 here, $80 there through her purse. By the time her monthly statement arrived, more than $300 had disappeared. Maria at first blamed herself, wondering if she had made purchases and simply forgotten. Only after speaking with her bank did she realize she had been targeted by the ghost tap scam. The shock was not just about the money, it was about the betrayal of trust in ordinary places where she had always felt safe. For seniors, this kind of stress can take a quiet toll on health. Worrying about finances raises blood pressure, disrupts sleep, and can even lead to feelings of anxiety or isolation. Yet the message here is not that older adults are helpless, it is that awareness changes everything. Once you understand that carrying your wallet in a cart or waiting for a paper statement makes you more vulnerable, you can adjust your habits. You can choose to keep your card in an inside pocket, check your account every few days, or use a protective sleeve that blocks the signal. Yes, criminals are targeting seniors more often, but that does not mean seniors are powerless. Small changes make a big difference, and once the pattern is broken, the scam loses its power. In the next part, we will look at the legal side, why banks sometimes hesitate to refund these transactions, and what you can do to strengthen your protection before trouble begins. Part 3, the legal challenges and the role of banks. When we think about fraud protection, most of us assume that the law and the banks are firmly on our side. In the United States, consumer protection laws are indeed designed to shield people from unauthorized transactions. On paper, the promise seems clear. If you did not approve the purchase, the bank should refund your money. Yet in practice, the definition of an unauthorized transaction is not always as simple as it appears. This gray area can become a major obstacle for seniors who fall victim to the ghost tap scam. Banks may argue that if your card was physically present and the chip responded exactly as designed, then the transaction looks legitimate. The card was not stolen, the number was not cloned, and there was no PIN failure. To the system, everything worked correctly. From the customer's perspective, of course, this feels deeply unfair. How can a payment be legitimate when you never touched a machine or gave consent? But without clear evidence proving that fraud occurred can be difficult. I have seen cases where seniors were asked to provide burdensome amounts of proof before a bank would even begin an investigation. One widow was required to write a detailed statement of her daily activities for the entire week when the charges appeared. Another gentleman had to ask his pharmacy for security camera footage to show that he never left the line when a $60 charge hit his account. These demands can feel exhausting, especially when you are already dealing with the stress of losing money you depend on for food, medicine, or bills. Timing is another critical issue that often surprises victims. Under U.S. banking rules, reporting suspicious transactions quickly, sometimes within just 24 to 48 hours, offers the strongest protections. If you wait longer, your claim may be weaker, even if you had no idea the scam was happening. For seniors who prefer waiting for monthly paper statements, this delay becomes a serious disadvantage. By the time the envelope arrives, the window for guaranteed reimbursement may have already closed. In some situations, banks have even suggested that the card must have been used by a family member or friend with implied permission. Imagine the insult of being told your own grandson might have taken the money when in reality you were targeted by a stranger with a hidden device. This shifting of blame onto the victim not only adds to the frustration, but also creates unnecessary guilt and conflict within families. It reflects the deeper challenge of a system that is not fully prepared to handle this new kind of invisible fraud. For older adults, the stress of fighting with a bank can feel heavier than the fraud itself. High blood pressure, sleepless nights, and feelings of helplessness are common responses when finances suddenly feel unstable. Many people quietly give up rather than pushing through the long process of phone calls, paperwork, and escalating complaints. This is exactly what scammers count on. They know the battle to recover lost funds can be so draining that victims may never attempt it. Yet even with these obstacles, it is important to remember that persistence matters. Filing a detailed complaint, asking for a written response from the bank, and keeping clear records of every conversation can increase your chances of success. If your bank refuses to help, you have the right to escalate the matter to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau or your state's financial regulatory office. These agencies can pressure banks to reconsider, especially when a pattern of similar complaints emerges. Here is where a little wisdom from India reminds us of the bigger picture. Justice sometimes walks slowly, but the one who is patient and persistent eventually finds the light. Seniors who push forward, who document carefully, and who refuse to be dismissed often succeed in reclaiming what was lost. It may not be fast and it may not be easy, but it is possible. The message here is not to scare you into silence, but to prepare you with knowledge. The law is meant to protect you, but the system has gaps. By acting quickly, by insisting on written proof, and by knowing your rights, you can close those gaps for yourself. In the next part, we will shift from the frustrations of the legal system to the practical steps you can take right now. Simple, concrete habits that make you a far less attractive target for ghost tap thieves. Part 4, how to protect yourself. Right now, the good news about the ghost tap scam is that while it is sneaky and invisible, it is also surprisingly easy to block if you act today. Unlike some threats that require complicated technology or expensive tools, protecting yourself from this scam can be done with simple, affordable steps that anyone can follow. For seniors already juggling health concerns, financial worries, and daily routines, knowing that solutions exist can bring a powerful sense of relief. The very first line of defense is also the most practical and affordable: an RFID blocking wallet or sleeve. RFID stands for radio frequency identification, and these wallets or card sleeves create a shield around your debit or credit card. That shield stops your card's chip from sending out a signal when an unauthorized device gets too close. You can find these wallets or protective sleeves online at office supply stores, and sometimes even at the checkout counter of large retailers. Many cost no more than $5. For the price of a fast food lunch, you can make your card practically invisible to a scammer's hidden reader. If you do not want to invest in a new wallet, a simple sleeve works just as well. Think of it as a jacket for your card, slipping it inside a thin layer of protective material that blocks the signal. Whether you carry one card or several, make sure each contactless card, debit, credit, or even transit cards gets its own shield. Remember, it only takes one exposed card for the scam to work. A second powerful step is to disable the tap to pay feature entirely if you do not use it. For some people, the convenience of tapping their card is worth the small risk. But if you are like many seniors who prefer inserting the card and entering a PIN, turning off the feature may be the safest choice. You can usually do this by calling the customer service number on the back of your card, or by logging into your mobile banking app and changing the settings. Once disabled, your card will only work when inserted into a machine and verified with your PIN. Yes, it adds a few seconds to each purchase, but it eliminates the ghost tap threat completely. Beyond technology, habits matter just as much. Think about where and how you carry your card during daily activities. If your purse has a zippered pocket on the inside, use it. If you carry a wallet, tuck it into an inside coat pocket rather than an outer one. The closer your card is to the outside of your clothing or bag, the easier it is for a scammer to reach. Criminals look for quick, low-risk opportunities. If they have to maneuver awkwardly to get close to your card, they are more likely to move on to someone else. Another habit that can save you tremendous stress is checking your bank account every day. This does not have to be complicated or time-consuming. With most banks, you can open the mobile app, glance at your recent transactions, and close it again all in less than a minute. Make it part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or checking your blood pressure. This daily glance ensures you spot suspicious charges quickly while your protections are strongest. When scanning your account, do not dismiss small amounts. Ghost tap scammers often keep their transactions under $50 to avoid triggering fraud alerts. A $12 charge at a convenience store you never visited, or a $28 payment at a gas station across town may seem minor compared to larger purchases, but these small leaks add up quickly. Ignoring them is like ignoring a tiny leak under the sink. Left alone, it can eventually flood the kitchen. As an old Indian proverb reminds us, a single drop of water can signal a coming flood. If we watch carefully for the small signs, we can prevent the disaster before it grows. Let me share one story that shows how effective these small actions can be. John, a retired postal worker in Ohio, noticed 3 small charges on his account last year: $35 at one store, $42 at another, and $28 at a third. At first, he assumed he had simply forgotten making the purchases, but his daughter encouraged him to call the bank. They discovered he had been targeted by ghost tap scammers. Frustrated and worried, John bought a $6 RFID sleeve online and started carrying his debit card inside it. Since then, not a single suspicious charge has appeared. For John, that small purchase brought back peace of mind and a sense of control. Stories like his remind us that while the scam is real, the power to prevent it is within reach. You do not need expensive technology or complicated training. You need awareness, a protective sleeve, some small changes in how you carry your card, and the discipline to check your account regularly. These steps may seem simple, but they form a strong shield against an invisible threat. Protecting yourself from Ghost Tap is not about living in fear. It is about choosing wisdom. By taking action today, you protect not only your money, but also your health, your peace of mind, and your independence. In the next section, we will look at what to do if, despite your best efforts, you still find yourself a victim. Knowing how to respond quickly can make all the difference in recovering your funds and restoring your confidence. Part 5. What to do if you become a victim. Even with the best precautions, scams can still happen. If you discover suspicious charges or realize that your debit card has been targeted by Ghost Tap thieves, the most important step is to act immediately. Time truly matters in these situations, and the faster you respond, the stronger your chances of recovering your money and stopping further damage. The very first call should be to the number printed on the back of your debit or credit card. This line connects you directly to the fraud department. Tell them clearly that you suspect contactless payment fraud and that you need your card frozen right away. Do not let the call end until you have been given a case or claim number. That number becomes your reference for every conversation that follows, ensuring your complaint is not lost or overlooked. The second step is to request written confirmation of your report. Ask the bank to email or mail you a document that lists the disputed transactions, the date you reported them, and the claim number. Having this record in hand protects you if the bank later argues that you failed to act quickly. It may feel like a small detail, but documentation can be the difference between getting your money back and being left with frustration. Your third step should be filing a police report, even if the amount stolen seems minor. Many seniors hesitate here, thinking the police cannot chase a $30 or $60 charge. But the purpose of the report is not just to catch the thief, it is to create an official record that proves a crime occurred. Banks and financial agencies take these reports seriously, and having one strengthens your case if the bank resists refunding your losses. Provide as much detail as you can where you were that day, when the charges appeared, and any unusual encounters you noticed. As you move through the process, keep careful track of everything. Take screenshots of your account showing the unauthorized charges. Save every email you send or receive. Write down the names of the bank representatives you speak with, along with the date and time of each call. This paper trail may feel tedious, but it places the burden of proof back where it belongs, on the institution, not on your memory. Seniors who keep thorough records are often the ones who see the fastest resolutions. If your bank refuses to refund the money, do not give up. Politely ask them to put their decision in writing, then escalate the matter to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The CFPB exists to ensure that financial institutions treat consumers fairly, and they have the authority to pressure banks into reconsidering. Filing a complaint with the CFPB can feel intimidating, but it can be done online or over the phone, and many seniors have found success through this step. It is also important to remember that being scammed does not mean you are powerless. One of the cruelest effects of fraud is the shame it brings. Victims often feel embarrassed as if they should have seen it coming. But the truth is, this scam was designed to be invisible. Your strength lies not in preventing every attempt, but in speaking up, reporting it, and insisting on justice. As we often hear in words of wisdom, older adults are not weak. Your voice carries great weight when you use it with persistence and clarity. After resolving the immediate issue, take steps to prevent future incidents. Request a replacement card from your bank, and if possible, ask them to issue one without Tap to Pay enabled. Purchase an RFID blocking sleeve or wallet to shield the new card and build the habit of keeping it in a secure pocket. These actions not only protect your finances, but also restore peace of mind. Let me share the story of Harold, a retired mechanic from Michigan. He discovered 3 strange charges on his account, each under $40. At first, he doubted himself, thinking he might have simply forgotten. But when the charges continued, his daughter urged him to call the bank. He reported the fraud, filed a police report, and kept a careful notebook of every step. When the bank initially resisted, Harold submitted his records to the CFPB. Within weeks, the charges were reversed. He now carries his new card inside a $5 RFID sleeve, and he checks his account each morning with his coffee. What once caused him fear has become a routine that gives him confidence. The message for every senior is clear: if you become a victim, do not freeze in fear or sink into shame. Act quickly, document thoroughly, and push persistently until you are heard. The law may move slowly, but persistence often wins. And when you combine legal action with smart prevention, you regain control over your finances and your independence. In the next section, we will step back and look at the bigger picture: how building a culture of prevention within families and communities can protect not just individuals, but entire neighborhoods from this quiet but dangerous scam. As we wrap up, I hope this conversation has given you something valuable to carry with you, a reminder that even the smallest habits can protect your independence and bring peace of mind. We've talked about how scams like Ghost Tap work, why seniors are often targeted, and the simple steps you can take today to stay safe. Remember, your health and well-being always come first, so if you have any medical conditions or specific concerns, please make sure to speak with your doctor before making changes to your routine. I'd love to hear from you. What lesson or insight stood out most for you today? Share it in the comments below, or if you just want to leave a little encouragement, type the word hope. Your words might be exactly what another person needs to read. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel, tap the notification bell so you never miss an update, and share this video with a friend or family member who could use the reminder. The more we spread awareness, the safer our community becomes. These tips are shared for general awareness. If you're facing any health challenges, be sure to check with your doctor before trying anything new. And finally, let me leave you with this: life at any age is a gift, and every day is a chance to live it wisely. May your steps be steady, your heart be light, and your days filled with peace.